Egypt led Argentina 2-0 with 11 minutes to go. They had a goal ruled out. They had Messi miss a penalty. For 79 minutes, they were the better team. Then Romero, then Messi, then Fernandez. The defending champions survived the closest thing to an upset of this tournament. Welcome back to Foot in Review. It is episode 37. I think it's day 27, but I think I've seen 100 matches now, so maybe I got a little bit lost there. I'm pretty sure it's episode 37. My name is John, and I'll be hosting today. And with me is another day of Mr. Blue, but not in full blue today. It's Graham. Welcome back, Graham.
Nice to have me back on.
You're very contrasty today with no blue shirt on.
No, just the first thing I picked up. So,
wow, looking sharp. But is that an Inter kit?
It is a kit, and it's got the Daily Departed Dumfries on the back as well. He's just joined Real Madrid.
Well timed on getting that shirt.
Well, it's last season's kit anyway, so it's
yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. How you doing, buddy?
Not as tired just as yesterday, as the game finished at a reasonable time. So, feeling a bit better. What about yourself?
Yeah, well, it's getting a little bit to me now, because I have to admit I fell asleep during the extra time in Switzerland for Colombia. I woke up during the second penalty. So there's that. I did watch it back this morning, but that showed that it was maybe not the most exciting match. Plus that I'm getting a little bit tired. Hey, but here's some good news. Tonight, on a Wednesday night in Europe, there is no football, Graham, for the first time in 38 days.
Yeah, for the first time.
Or in 28 days, sorry, yeah.
I'm looking forward to the quick respite from it all, and just to relax, go to bed at a reasonable time, and hopefully wake up at a reasonable time. So yeah, looking forward to it.
I'll bring the kids to bed at 7 or 8ish. Then I'll take a shower and I'll go to bed myself, I reckon.
I don't think I would be too far behind you, to be honest.
It's one of those things. We had Argentina versus Egypt, and of course we had Switzerland versus Colombia. So 2 games to discuss. Last time we discussed 2 games, I think.
Yep, we discussed 2 last time as well.
Yeah, and that's next time there's going to be only one episode, I reckon.
Yep.
So let's start with game 1. Let me try to recap this, because it was Argentina versus Egypt with a final score of 3-2. Egypt produced one of the performances of the tournament. Ibrahim headed them in front in the 15th minute. The first time Argentina has trailed in the entire 2026 World Cup. Shobeir then saved Messi's penalty, McAllister's and Alvarez before halftime. Zico scored a brilliant breakaway in the 58th minute, but the VAR ruled it out for a foul in the build-up. And then Zico scored again on the 67th minute to make it a 2-0. Argentina looked finished, and Egypt missed some really good turnovers as well. But then Romero had it in the 79th minute. Messi volleyed in off the crossbar on 83 minutes. And Enzo Fernández headed home the winner on the counter in stoppage time. 3 goals in 11 minutes. Egypt are out. And I needed an hour to come back from this match, Graham.
Yeah, it was breathtaking at the end. I generally thought this is massive. This is one of these big talking points that nobody will ever stop talking about. Messi and Argentina going out to Egypt, just so lethargic, so lack of anything to that point, really. And then 1 goal, and that was it. Flipped. All the this and this just landed on Argentina. And I think from that first goal going in, within our group chats and everything, I think everybody just thought that was it. Argentina are going to come back.
Yeah. Well, I have to give it to him, though. It's not my favorite team by far. People know that by now. And I do think they are, let me put it this way, they are never put in a bad spot. They are never negatively influenced by a referee. Let's say it like this. I'm not saying it's a complot theory or anything like that, but I do think they don't get bad calls against them. We saw in the first half a slap in the face, honestly. They didn't even get checked, right?
Yeah, it's just one of the things. When your luck's in. But it's the sign of good champions, winners. You always find that sort of way, and luck always follows you that way as well. So, generally, thought they were beaten. I thought Kate Vardy could have done it as well, and they just seem to be able to just claw it back. So, it's just
fighters.
one of the things. Yeah, it's just that once you win things and you've got a team full of winners, I think they just have that ability to just find that extra 1%.
Just wondering, have you ever seen a manager after a match like fully in tears and saying, I can't do this right now. I can't give you a statement. I need to go. You ever seen that in your life?
Not at the top of my head, to be honest. Probably if I was to go and look up, it might trigger something, but off the top of my head, not really, no. Not in football, at least.
He was like, I had so much. My players are so good. My team they have such an amazing team. And then he started crying. I said, I can't do this, and just walked off. Like, okay. It's like he already won the World Cup there.
Yeah, I think he was feeling the pressure as well. That must be quite a burden, knowing this is Messi's last World Cup, and good chance of being maybe the fourth, is it, to go back to back.
Yeah.
The pressures. I think Scaloni's feeling the pressure a little bit now.
Yeah, definitely, and it definitely showed there. Yeah, that was emotion. Messi was in tears. Salah was just laughing. I think if he gets sad, he just laughs. Honestly, he just smiles and just goes on with his life. And the staff wasn't actually worth laughing, Graham.
No, not at all.
How many red cards were given there?
I don't even know. I lost track of what was happening with the disciplinary, to be honest. Because this coverage over here, they were saying, "Oh, it's one booking," and they're like, "Oh no, there's a red card. We'll need to double check that." So I don't think we really got much clarification who was sent off, who was booked, or anything. And they kept talking about the racism protocol that the Egyptian coaching staff kept signaling the X. So
yeah,
we didn't really get much clarification on who was off and who was booked or what, to be honest.
We hardly saw anything because the TV direction just kept looking at cheering Argentina fans while that was going on. And I was listening to the radio commentary and they were like, oh, something's going on here. I saw some videos afterwards, indeed. So we can't know what's been said. Let's put it like that, right? But there was something that really stood out. I thought some of the players, including Messi, they went to that bench and started talking to the staff. If you score 3-2 in a high-loaded match like this, and you know there's always been a VAR decision and there's doubt if this should be checked by VAR, leave that staff alone. Just go back to your own pitch, right? Why are you throwing oil on the fire there?
Don't know if Messi was necessarily trying to aggravate the situation. I think he was trying to calm them down a bit because obviously they're starting to further encroach in the pitch. The more they encroach the pitch, the less the game can go on. The referee has to deal with that, then deal with the VAR. I think he was just trying to get it over and done with so that they could get the game back on, try and finish it as quickly as possible. From what I've seen is that the coach says that it was a flag in the stand that was racism, which don't want to really get into politics or any geo wars and things like that, but it was something to do with that because he had the flag at another game allegedly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so don't know if that protocol works that way or not, but yeah, it just descended in a bit of a farce. But thankfully, the referee managed to some sort of recontrolled game and got it finished with.
Definitely. Two things. We have two VAR moments we want to discuss. But before we discuss that, I want to go into the coach, Hassan, from Egypt. Because afterwards, he just said, well, everyone in the world saw you rig the match. And I just don't understand why, if they want Argentina to win this World Cup so badly, why they even fly all the teams in. Now, I am the last person to say Argentina does not get the benefit of the doubt if it goes to referees, right? But I also feel like it's a bit much going into conspiracy theories like this when you are given away to a lead, if you just look at it. And his substitutions weren't great either, were they, Graham? There has to be some reflection on his performance itself.
Yeah, I think there's a few ways you can look at it. First of all, it's a deflection tactic. You're winning 2-0. Your bad management and obviously control of the game as a manager allowed Argentina to come back into it. So one way to defend yourself or take the limelight off yourself is to blame others and to play with conspiracy theories and look over there, don't look at me sort of tactic.
Egyptian Football Association just filed a complaint against FIFA for the referee as well.
Yeah, but The referee wasn't amazing. There was a few obviously decisions that we probably will touch on, but one of the things that kids get taught at a young age over in Britain, don't know what the rest of the world is, but you play to the final whistle, and if the ref's giving decisions that don't go against you, you have to play smarter and don't feed into that. You take control of the game, don't let the others. So,
like France did.
Yeah, like you can roll over and say, like everybody's against me. Like Zico came out and started saying about rigging and only God could judge him, things like this. Like, I think there's a little bit of, yeah, you could look at a couple of decisions and say you can feel aggrieved, but then I think there's a bit of, but don't look at my failures. Worry about the failures of everybody else, to take the flack off for themselves, or like we said, throwing away a 2-goal lead with 20 minutes to go.
Yeah. Well, 11 minutes to go, think something.
I wasn't sure how little it was, so I thought go for a round it up to 20.
Let's say 15. Give each other the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, but yeah, you're 2-0 up, and he's substituting so hard. At one moment, you said it as well in our chat, they had 6 defenders lined up.
Yeah, I said in the chat, like, you're 2-0 up. Argentina don't look threatening. Like, yeah, they've got the quality. They're making nice wee passes. They are making inroads. They're getting fouls, but there's no real quality until that first goal goes in that I thought they are scoring here in any shape or form. And then they went to a back 5, and I was like, they went 5-4-1. I was like, why are you sitting so far deep? Yeah, I know you're tired. I know your bench players are a little bit inferior.
Even then, they had 2 still good counters, which they fumbled, right?
Yeah, and I was like, why are you sitting so far back? And then literally a second later, there were 6 in the back. I was like, you're begging for the Argentina to come back into the game. Like, Argentina literally had one person in their own half, but it was pretty much at the halfway line, and everybody else, they had 5 up against the 6. I was like, you're just begging for them to score against you now. So, like we said, bad decision making. And like you said, they did make a few good counters, and I just think if they stuck to their shape, they would have had more people forward when they counters. They could have maybe nicked another goal. Yes, I know people say there's 2 decisions that went against them, but I still think, I know they're tired and everything else, but like Argentina showed this game, Cape Verde, the more that you keep attacking that game, the more chance you are winning the game. And I just felt the dropping back to a 5 then a 6 just scuppered them.
Definitely. There's not many teams that can hold on for the whole match either. If that's the main tactic, and this wasn't even their main tactic, and that showed, I think. Mm-hmm. Quick rundown on the 2 VAR moments. Let's go over 3 VAR moments. The penalty. Was it a penalty?
For me, yeah. Just one of these stupid things. Wasn't watching on his blind side. The guy gets in, turns around and just clips him. It's stupid, but it's soft, but it is what it is. You can't really do that.
I agree. 50% of all penalties in the World Cup, Messi misses, by the way. Mm-hmm. Or hit, just depending on how you look. But that's not like a good penalty record. But he's never had a really good penalty record, has he?
I don't really think so. That more better at free kicks. I can't remember memorable Messi penalties. It's more memorable free kicks.
Exactly. Yeah, I think he missed quite a few, but it's on 50% now on the World Cup stage. But hey, it happens. Good save with Shobeir as well. Great match. Okay, the first VAR moment. Egypt goes on the counter, gets the ball on the back line. An amazing counter which they scored, but it got disallowed of that fall in that build-up. You reckon it's a fair fall? Or goal?
I think it's soft again. At first I thought it was just the kick of the heel, and I was definitely going to say that's super soft. But then obviously they changed the angle and it showed you that he was being tugged. It wasn't like he was majorly grabbing onto him. It was soft, but I've seen them given. I'd rather they weren't given. It's maybe a physical game. There's maybe a bit of contact. I know pulling the shot's not within the limits of the law, but everybody does it. And if it wasn't a goal, I don't think anybody would bat an eyelid at it.
No, I agree with you. I think technically you can give it. And it is, people say, yeah, but it was on the far side of the pitch. It was the same attack. So it's something the VAR always have to check. And that they did well there, to be fair, also with communication. and it sucked, but they still got a 2-0 win later. But I think that was a fair call. But then Egypt was on the attack, and from a counter, Argentina scored the last goal. There were two moments there. One, I think, McAllister pulling someone's shirt, and the sort of foul on Salah. Should those two be checked? / should this goal be disallowed as well?
The Martinez and Salah one, I don't think there's any looking at that or any justification pulling that one back. But the McAllister tug, I don't see how, if you look at it from the first goal being disallowed on a tug, how can a tug in the box, right at the edge of the box, there's no build or play. I can't see how that one wasn't looked at, to be honest. And this is where people start claiming the game's rigged and everything else, because I can't see or find or figure a reason why you can not look at that and say. But then, unless they've got a better angle that they haven't showed us where the contact or there is no contact from the angle that we were shown, I'd have to say you have to look at that one.
Yeah, and the thing is, we don't know if they did. And that's the most frustrating factor for me. Like, I think it was a foul, personally. But then again, I only got one angle where I clearly see McAllister pull his shirt. That would be either a penalty or a free kick. Don't know exactly where the moment was. But then the goal for Argentina shouldn't be standing. But the thing is, we never saw it was being checked. And I think that is the biggest thing. Because if VAR calls it to the monitor or says to the referee, we are checking, get a VAR goal checked, and they showed it, fine, then it's fine. I totally agree with Salah. He already passed or ticked the ball away, and then he sort of knocked it. But that's not a foul. I agree there as well. But I can feel if you're Egypt, right? I know where the emotions come from, because from your perspective, your goal get disallowed for something that's often not called. Then Argentina basically has the same thing for two things, and one of them usually is called. And you don't even get the feeling it's being checked. I would be angry as well, I reckon. I wouldn't go as far as saying it's rigged, but it's definitely a decision that feels really wrong. And of course, what happened this Monday, just make sure that every single decision of a referee will be fought on these days. I think the thing we are underestimating maybe is the fact FIFA made that decision Monday with Balogun. Now make sure the referees don't get a final say in many things. Or at least all the teams will just try it.
Yeah. Normally in the commentary, they tell us that they've got a wee banner on their feed saying that it's been checked, but they never mentioned it either. So no. I don't know how hard it would really be. Just on the main broadcast, everybody just, as us as fans, we get a wee banner, whether it be yellow with black writing or blue, red, whatever colour you want. And it just says VAR checking incident.
Exactly, yeah.
And then if it's cleared, just say VAR cleared.
Check over, yeah.
Check over, VAR cleared. I know sometimes we get the wee pop-up box when it's like a penalty, but you know what's going on because the game stopped, the referee's got his finger in his ear, he's starting to walk up to the screen, does the whole charade thing with the TV with his hands. But when you get incidents like that and there's no clear indication of what's going on, a wee banner just up at the bottom just to say VAR check clear. Just let us to know that they have looked at it or whatever. Or even after the game, how hard would it be for them to put a wee package together just to give to the broadcasters to say, like, we did check this is what we checked. Look, just a little bit of transparency and clarity would be great.
Yeah, exactly. I know it's chaos in the stadium. It wasn't the best referee, to be fair, but I also don't think it was it was François Letexier from France. I don't necessarily think it was a really poor call, like a poor match from him. But it's the whole package, and I think I don't like putting referee's name out there. Although with Uzbekistan's ref from France, I think that was definitely deserved. But we now look into more moments like this, and my issue was more like I don't believe in the conspiracy theory, right? I just put it out there because why would Messi go as far, and why wouldn't they help Ronaldo or Brazil, etc. But it is a matter of fact, I think, that Argentina don't get many bad calls. And if you are FIFA and you want to make sure that the theory goes away, at least make your call more transparent. So people's like, okay, I know we're a little bit angry, but hey, that makes sense, right? I saw the fall from Salah this morning. I was like, yeah, that's nothing actually. Yeah, fair enough. But it's not up for me and nor for all the other fans to watch the match a second time in the morning to make sure you get a objectively view of this. So yeah. Anyways, that was the first match, and we're already 20 minutes in. So let's take a deep dive into Colombia versus Switch, which if I would summarize it, Graham, I can summarize this in, I think, 30 seconds. I don't have not much talking points. I think Switzerland is the better team, technically stable. They have, unfortunately, 3 big injuries, which you can highlight a little bit. But they did exactly what they needed to do, and they had a tactical masterclass, just exterminating everything Colombia had in their power. Talking about power, Colombia is the fittest team, which we've seen in the second half, but they just don't have the power, like the technically know-how, to get any chances in, which makes this match for the neutral viewer probably very boring to watch with a very low XG. And in the end, Switzerland goes through on penalties. And I think in the end, they deserved a little bit more because this was the only country Colombia didn't get any chance to play proper football against.
For me, it was a bit of a Snorfest. I did say yesterday's pod, I thought it was going to be very balanced. Like it was the chalk versus the cheese, the attack against defence sort of type of game, and it sort of lived up to that way. Colombia.
What did you say? It's Coke versus cheese? What did you say there?
Chalk and cheese. It's like the two sides of like
no, I was just
opposite.
saying because Swiss cheese and it was a joke. Never mind.
Sorry, missed it. I did predict it was going to be a draw. I thought it would be a score draw. I thought at least there'd be a few moments of some sort of excitement, but that you said no, but I struggled to stay awake for the full game, to be honest. I'm surprised I did, but it really played out the way I thought it would be. Colombia constantly try to attack, be that positive bright spark, where Belgium were just that very balanced. Like the sum of whole parts. Their weaknesses are their strengths, and their strengths are their weaknesses. Where it just wasn't a great viewer experience, but unfortunately, the lottery of penalties means Switzerland is through after a few shocking penalties from centre backs, which still baffles me why teams allow centre backs to hit penalties when they're not that great.
We should run the statistic on the World Championship, how many centre backs score a penalty in extra time, because it's been poor so far.
I generally don't think there's a good record in any football at all. I know there's a few. Coleman, Frank de Boer had a decent record, apart from when he was at Rangers. Cost us a cup. There's a few centre backs that had a good record, but in the main, they're not known for being the best strikers of a ball. And I always find it weird that attacking players they avoid the responsibility of a penalty. I know there's pressure and everything, but when it's your job to score goals in the main, this should be your time to shine for me.
Yeah. We do have to say something about Switzerland. That's, I think, Vargas was injured at the start of the match. He came in later, but he was on half strength or 20% strength.
Yeah.
Mandami was injured.
Yep.
And I'm missing someone here.
Djibril, who came on later on in the game as well. All three of them were ruled. They were ruled out injured the other day. So I was surprised to see Vargas and So made the bench, given the way that Yakin had said they were pretty much all out. They weren't playing. But it's the World Cup.
Those are big matches, though, to miss. And I think Vargas... But missing these 3 players is like the complete axle of attack in like power of Switzerland, neutralized before the match even started. So people were like, Switzerland is just playing control, slow, not even one attack. They didn't have anyone to do it anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest problem with Colombia is they don't have a striker. And that's been the problem the whole tournament. They can play really well, like good football, and some winger will get the ball like Diaz and hopefully score. But generally, they have not scored a goal in a knockout phase so far either.
No.
So this was bound to be a match, like you said, very close calls and midfield warfare.
pretty much.
Do you think they can progress Switzerland now from here?
No, I think this is the end of the road. Even how bad Argentina have been in the last couple of games where they've conceded goals, I still think they just have too much quality. I think it'll be very similar to the Austria-Spain game, where the strength, the balance, and the sort of containment that Switzerland will have just won't be enough to beat the technical ability and quality that Argentina have, unfortunately. So I think this is them done.
Yeah, I agree with you. Quickly then, the bottler, the baller, and of course the drama. Can we start with the drama? I think that's Egypt and the whole referee / complot theory that came out of this, conspiracy theory that came out of this.
Yeah, it is the drama. I think it'll rumble on for a few more days. There'll be bans handed out. I think there'll be more angles of whatever decisions and whatever else happened, and there'll be more releases of who says what and what's said and things like that. So I think
the manager Hassan can look at a couple of matches of suspension, don't you?
Yeah, I don't think he's getting out this scot-free. Unfortunately, I think he will cop a couple games.
Yeah. The baller of the day, we could have said Messi, but he also missed a penalty and wasn't invisible for half the match. So I think we have to give it to Mostafa Shobeir, I should say, the goalkeeper from Egypt, who had some match though in total.
Yeah, it seems to be the tournament of keepers. Absolutely, like keepers that have no real international name to say, or the keepers that you think have no hope, and they end up performing like it's the World Cup final. I was impressed by Hassan as well, the winger, but unfortunately by the 60th minute he ran himself into the ground. But yeah, their keeper was really good.
Yeah. Then into the bottler. On a notice set the referee and VAR of the Argentina match. Well, we spoke about that in depth. I think there's a couple. I don't necessarily think it's the bottler, but I think it's going to be a recurring topic since what happened. There's one thing I wanted to say there. There's been a lot of BBC, or ex-Premier League pundits, if I should say so, having to say it wouldn't be a foul in a Premier League. I just wanted to say that the Premier League isn't exactly the gold standard from how the rules are interpreted, are they?
No. And I think most people would probably expect me to be some sort of, I'm trying to think of the right words here, but chairperson for the Premier League. But I generally think when it comes to standards, it's one of the leagues where I wouldn't look towards when it comes to referees and a lot of things. So, no, but I generally hate that idea, but in my league that wouldn't be given because we're not playing in your league. This is a different tournament. It's a different format. It's against different styles. So to say that simple mind of, oh, well, we wouldn't give that shouldn't be your merit of what we're looking at.
Yeah. Carringer, for example, said if it had happened in the Premier League or La Liga, he actually mentioned La Liga this time. He said it wouldn't be given a foul. But I think in La Liga, this would have been a foul as well, to be fair. So it's a little bit sad. Also, Fox Sports analyst, I just want to mention him, Rob Green said it was a full length of the pitch away from the action and therefore should never be reviewed. I think Mr. Rob Green should just check the rules once again before he starts saying anything.
I said to you before we started, I guarantee that if that was, say, England or he played for West Ham and Chelsea and that, if that was his team playing, and it affected him, his opinion would be completely different. Also, I think if VAR didn't intervene, he'd be one of the type of guys that goes, oh, that should have been called back because he was stuck there. I think a lot of people like to talk down VAR or use this as a reason to not have VAR, but they would be the first person, if once VAR goes again, to then state these decisions is why we need VAR. It's just, they need their talking point to be relevant.
I agree.
That's the kindest way I can think of saying it.
I agree. I do think we need something like maybe Collina does a really good job lately in changing the rules and checking the rules and fighting for his referees. Except, like, for example, he reached out, he called out Trump yesterday saying the referee, Trump said he was suspect, there's nothing wrong with him, he's a clean slate, etc., etc. I think maybe it's time for get a page with 20 most commonly made mistakenly interpreted rules or something, which Collina then, or make some videos about, hey, this is the offside rule. Did you know that? Or, hey, this is the VAR check, what we always do. Did you know that? For everyone out there, because it's also very hard to find some of the rules, what is exactly interpreted. And also send those out to every reporter out there so they can just brush up on things. I see the lot with the offside as well. The offside rule this time around is just very simple. If a part of your body is offside that you cannot score with, it doesn't count. If a part of your body is offside which you can score with legally, then it's offside.
For me, it's still, Collina could go through all that hassle and they would still ignore it because drama sells and they need the talking points. Like, I know Wenger, I think it's to come in, is it next season, that Wenger wants the clear daylight rule in offside?
Yeah.
I guarantee.
Please don't.
I guarantee somebody will complain that it should go back to what we have now, which is that the non-goal scoring point of advantage, that there will always be that drama for drama's sake.
Fair enough.
It sells.
That is true. Talk about drama. This is your last show of today. Yeah, I had you there for a second, didn't I? Thanks so much, Graham. We'll be back tomorrow, although there's no football. At least Shaq will return. If I can, I will join him, or someone else can. We will join him. We will, talk about this round of 16, look at some of the predictions, look at the results, look up the teams in general, who can progress. So we'll be back tomorrow for sure. See you. Bye. Bye-bye.